Stay tuned. We're going to wind up this particular hour in the garden with Roberta's. And an item that I had on with you guys the other day in QVC2, I just fell in love with this thing. Derek is here with a double flowered desert rose live plant. A lot there in the title, but there's a lot going on with this plant. Where's this come from?
These come from the deserts of Africa. And they are the world's easiest houseplant, Rick. I really mean it.
Ironic, because you think they look like, ooh, they got to have special
That's
care.
very true, but because they're desert dwellers, that means they thrive on neglect. We water these once a month. Here they are outdoors in their native habitat. Now, these live up to 100 years old, and outdoors can get 30 foot tall. But in the house, they stay small, just like this. The size of your container determines the size of the plant. So if you want a nice and small plant, leave it in a tiny container. Now, what other houseplant can you water once a month, but is going to bloom half the entire year?
Wow.
Every single year. There's nothing like it.
Once a month. So here's, when you get it, by the way, click right now. Love it. It's on its way. Like that is, how many years of growth do you have here when you first get it?
This is like 2 months after you get it. So they come right out of the box. 2 years
That's
old.
what I'm saying. I asked how long has it been growing? It's already 2 years old.
Yeah, it's already 2 years old, just like this.
Yeah.
Now I replanted one, and maybe 2 months later, this is the size that it got. Just a little bit bigger. Even though they're desert dwellers and they're succulents, they're not that slow at growing. You can see them grow over time. I love these. They're so unique. Take a look at this trunk here, Rick, because this trunk, what's beautiful about this is that from the ground up, these things are interesting to look at. They're full of beautiful roots, and this trunk actually holds all of its water just like a camel's back. That means if you miss a watering, no problem.
I want to make sure there is a color choice still in this.
Well, I think the yellow, maybe there's like 5 left, so we didn't put that on.
There's 14 of them remaining in the yellow. So the other choices are going to be the red, and the purple.
Yes,
right?
correct.
That's how you choose. The red, the purple. The purple is a fuchsia. It's absolutely gorgeous. And every trunk, here's what you said the other day. Every trunk will actually be different and unique, right?
That's totally true. They're just like a thumbprint. You can see this one. Look at all the aerial roots that are coming out.
It's crazy.
I really love these because they look like something ancient from my favorite science fiction movie. But then you come up here and you see these beautiful, elegant limbs coming off of the main trunk, and then you have this basically like a mini rose tree.
Didn't you say something?
Beautiful green leaves.
If you cut this back, something happens as well, right?
Every year we like to cut ours back, cut off the tips after it's done flowering. That sends energy back into the trunk and makes that a lot more thick and bulbous. Yep, exactly.
That's wild. So by cutting it back, it changes the shape of the trunk. What an incredible story. By the way, the yellow is sold out. If you want the red in front of me, $1,500 for the season. Purple, fewer than 2,000 to go around. Tell me what the flowers themselves, if you would.
Yeah, look at those. So these are double flowered. And what that means is instead of just a standard 5 petals on a flower, Rick, you're going to get a flower within a flower. They're more voluptuous. They're more full. Look at that. You've got the outer petals, the inner petals. That purple is rich. It's like a royal purple that you're going to have.
The next shot we're going to see.
Yep. And now
that's remarkable.
Correct. Now that is about a 15-year-old plant in a larger saucer dish container, but if you want yours to get that big, no problem. If you want it to say small, like in the following photo, no problem too. You determine the size of your plant with the size of your container.
No, it doesn't say outdoor or indoor plant. So let's just clarify that for my friends in Minnesota right now.
Yeah, totally. So these are going to be indoors during the cold winter months, but you're welcome to bring them outdoors, like in this photo, when it's nice and warm out. I do that with some of mine. My others stay inside year-round. There's no problem. I like these in a sunny window or just anywhere that's moderately well lit in the house. If you want to put them outside for a little boost of sunshine in the summer, go for it, but not required.
Okay, a big pot. Okay, this is what size pot is it?
It's about a 2-gallon container.
How tall will this get?
Just this big. That's about it. Yep.
The bigger, the purple all the way.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. 19 remaining. What about a large pot?
If you
in
have
my
a large
corner
pot,
of
it
my
could get
office.
as big as me or you.
That's so cool.
Right? Now, and it's not hard to grow. That's the thing. Houseplants typically don't flower. This blooms 6 months every year starting June. Houseplants typically require a lot of water and a lot of fuss. These water once a month.
When it's not blooming, is the greenery still there?
The greenery is still there. You have an evergreen tree. If you're familiar with bonsai, it's sort of a unique look. This has that same sort of vibe to it, but without all the work of a traditional bonsai and without all the weight. You know, a traditional bonsai takes 100 years to get this look. Here, you know, a few years. So I love
But it will last how long?
100 years. They will live 100 years. Easily. Now, because these are traditionally desert dwellers, they love to be neglected. Do not baby these. Forget about them.
Do not overwater them.
Yeah, just forget about them. You know, mark it on your calendar once a month. Oh, got to water the desert rose.
Yeah. Call now, click now. We have one item, a plant item in this 1 hour show called Love Your Garden.
Now,
and it's my favorite. I just think it's so cool. And call me back in 30 years and let me know how this is working for you.
That's right.
I'll be here. I'll
now,
sit here.
Look at these buds here. On every tip, there are flower buds starting to form. And this is the largest size we've ever had with a desert rose. And we've had desert rose for years. And these are also the rarest desert rose we've ever had because they're all double flowered varieties. Now, the most rare is the red. These are extremely hard to get. We could only get a few, but these do take us 2 years to grow from start to finish.
Oh, that's a double flowering as well.
Yes, they're double flowered. Now, just to find a desert rose at even the most boutique-y store, probably not going to happen. But to get double flowered in these colors, this is the cream of the cream, you know? This is the most special kind. These are great gifts because right off the bat, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
They're also great gifts because they're not hard to take care of. You don't want to give somebody something that's a ball and a chain. You want to give them something that's beautiful.
Oh, well,
that's
you know what
the
it
purple.
is? As you take a look at the purple there, and because it's the gift that they can then check back 5 years, remember.
Or hand it down. It's an heirloom.
It's an heirloom piece.
I have one that my grandmother grew.
Do you really?
Yes.
It's an heirloom
beautiful.
plant.
And
that's
so
wild.
You know, they're passed
so that's
down
probably in
through
California
the
and
family.
New Mexico, right?
That is in California. You can see the palms. So that one's outside pretty much year round. But you know, I live in Indiana. We get cold, harsh winters. I bring mine in late September.
And then bring it out set up by the pool in the summertime.
That's totally right.
Just great.
And it's fun because it's customizable. If you want yours to get big, which sounds like you do, you can put them in a bigger container. But if you want them to stay small, they can stay in that their whole life.
I grew up in Minnesota, like an elm tree, an oak tree.
Yep.
The trunk is very, very similar on an elm tree and an oak tree.
Totally.
Why is the trunk so unique to each one of
Well,
these?
because these are, as desert dwellers, they're adventitious. They'll grow roots out wherever they can to get some moisture.
Okay.
And that's what makes these so different is the roots.
So the
is
moisture
the
or lack thereof, or it's just...
It's all combined,
all combined. Because they really do look uniquely different. So yours is going to be as individual as a thumbprint. It's 3 easy payments of $16.33. Yellow sold out for the season. We're down to a red and to a purple, and that very popular purple. Final thoughts. Oh, you, bud.
Well, the purple is extremely rich colored purple. Sometimes in the sun it'll be more fuchsia. But both of these, if you love plants or if you've never grown a houseplant, this is the easiest, the longest lived, and the highest blooming. If you want a little mini carnation or rose tree in the house, you gotta have this. They bloom from June through December, so even when it's cold and crummy out, October, November, inside you've got beauty.
M94972. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Roberta's team for a great season. That's still going on. You can still pick this up. That's the great news. Still available in these two colors. I'm going to say goodbye, and you're going to say hello to Barbara King and Jane Brown, who are standing by on location for an entire hour from Barbara's place. It's a pretty amazing place. That's coming up in 1 minute live here on QVC. Stay tuned.